This is the latest unexpected release from one of the most beloved duos in rap music, Mobb Deep. Consisting of members Havoc and the late Prodigy, they released some of the most iconic gangster rap songs of all time during the 90s, with many of their key tracks appearing on the album The Infamous, which happens to be one of my favorite rap albums of the entire 90s decade. It's a record so incredible that it transcended Mobb Deep, while also cementing them as one of the greatest duos in hip-hop history. They stand alongside the likes of UGK, GANGSTA, MFG Madlib, Tyler the Creator and EDP. 2 decades after the release of this iconic album in 1995, we now find ourselves in 2025 with the new and final Mobb Deep album, Infinite. What makes it so unexpected and somewhat eyebrow-raising is that Prodigy passed away in 2017, meaning all of his vocals on this record are over 7 years old. The fact that it was entirely produced by Havoc and The Alchemist and includes features like Nas and Clips raised my expectations. However, there was still concern about whether Prodigy's presence on this album would feel rushed or sound like unlistenable voice demos, as has been the case with other posthumous releases in recent years, such as Bad Vibes Forever. It had also been a long time since we've had a solid Mobb Deep album. Thankfully though, with Havoc clearly taking the lead on the rollout and overall direction of the project, it became clear that Prodigy's presence would be treated with the respect and care it deserved. And after listening to Infinite multiple times now, I'm happy to say that's exactly the case. For the most part, Prodigy's vocal presence is handled with such care that it genuinely feels as if he's still here with us. The opening track, Against the World, is an instant standout. It features a fiery, grandiose boom bap beat with godly gospel vocal samples and luxurious horns that really elevates the track. Prodigy's verse, lifted from his 2012 track P Against the World, is reworked here, and I think it fits even better in this new context. If there's one weak point, it's easily the refrain. It's an obvious nod to Tupac's Me Against the World, but it doesn't come close to matching the epic, timeless feeling of the original. I do wish the track had a stickier hook to it overall, but it's still a promising start to the album. My same critique for this song also applies to the next song, Gunfire. I find this hook to be even less interesting because of how lyrically repetitive and slow it is, even though I do like Prodigy's menacing, unconcerned, deadpan vocal delivery. It certainly doesn't do that much justice to the captivating, squeaky, intense and eerie beat that The Alchemist brings to the table. It also doesn't quite live up to how strong the verses are, but it's still undeniably another highlight. Prodigy's hook game is back in the bag though in Easy Bruh, where his confrontational chorus is very addicting. I also like how threatening he is in his verse. Fuck a vest, his head goes straight through it. Fuck a gun in your face, I punch straight through it. Fuck a fair fight, he gets jumped out here with theme music. Havoc also delivers some clever bars. Other side of the pencil, I'll erase you. We draw our guns and you a tracer. The spooky beat only elevates the intimidating vibes. It sounds like a gangster crime action movie turned into a horror film. I do wish that on the Clips collaboration, Look At Me, Malice had a more dominant vocal presence, though both he and Pusha T still do a great job tying into the theme of the song. So far into the track list, we're already hit with 4 solid great songs, but it becomes pretty clear that if the hooks are often the weakest part of these 4 cuts, then the hooks on the lows must be even worse. That thought was proven true on the M to the O to the B, which, as you might guess from the title, is literally how the chorus goes, spelling out their name in a Snoop Doggy fashion, but without the smooth swagger or personality. It's a shame because Havoc's verse here is one of the best performances on the album. The chorus on Taj Mahal barely sounds like a chorus. It's only when it plays for the second time that you realize it is the chorus, as it sounds more like a section of an average Prodigy verse. Why was it a single? Mr. Magic also has a hook that is a pretty big turn off for me. The lyrics come off as a bit too goofy for their style. It would have made more sense if the duo had stepped away from the usual deadpan confrontational vocal delivery when going for this playful direction. Their serious voices spitting these tongue-in-cheek lyrics just don't blend well. It's pretty disappointing, especially since the track features possibly my favorite beat on the entire album. It sounds like the type of beat that would appear on one of the best mixtapes of the 2010s, Mac Miller's Faces. Mobb Deep is lucky to have Georgia Smith on Down For You, as she delivers by far the best chorus on the entire album. Her elegant voice feels perfectly suited to the hauntingly chilling yet intimate strings that drive the beat forward. Thanks to the song's chill vibe and Georgia's romantic chorus, it makes sense for Mobb Deep to step away from their signature confrontational and aggressive sound, rapping in a more low-key soft way and even getting romantic. It results in Havoc delivering some of the least romantic lines I've heard in a while. Fuck it, on my mama, you the goat. What a romantically poetic way to compliment your lover, by calling them the goat. Nas's verse is much stronger, and the callback to his verse from the classic Mobb Deep track It's Mine is a nice touch. However, I don't really see how Prodigy's verse fits the theme of the track. It feels like they were searching for an unreleased Prodigy verse that could best match the song's theme, and this was the closest fit they could find. He raps more about the rich lifestyle and dressing in a luxurious fashion than anything related to being in love. The opening verse to Trife Life is more romantic than this, and in that song, he nearly gets jumped. The lady in that song also set him up. Score Point builds good momentum early on with an unsettling piano loop that makes the beat one of the best on Infinite. I also appreciate how personal Prodigy gets in his opening verse. It's quite touching. However, Havoc's attempt to match the song's emotion falls a bit flat. He starts off introspective but then trails off towards the end, delivering what's probably the weakest verse ending on the entire album. They attention whores chasing clout till they get that bloody mouth. Yep, for that money pouch and jewelry things. Yeah, the cat's out the bag, you ain't like that. Pull they skirt up, they working with vagina. What? In the next song, Havoc drops another line that completely caught me off guard. They'll take your hearts, people out here just praying for some help. Made me wonder what's really in their chromosome. But wait, probably gets cancelled for that. What? And earlier on this verse, he also talks about bodying someone on IG Live. Clear Black Nights brings together Mobb Deep and the famous Wu-Tang duo Raekwon and Ghostface Killah on one track, which sounds exciting on paper. However, when you actually listen to it, it feels more like a sad reminder that all four are well past their prime. In the second half of the track list, it's pretty obvious that Mobb Deep and even Nas are running out of things to rap about. I say Nas because on the second romantic cut, Love the Way, Down For You Part 2, he delivers another callback to his verse on It's Mine. You already did that on the first romantic cut, why do it again? This track pretty much follows the same formula as Down For You Part 1, romantic lyrics, a Nas feature, a chill chorus sung by a female vocalist. I get that it's meant to be a part 2, but there could have been more effort to set it apart from the first, while still staying true to the romantic themes and sound. Instead, it feels more like a repeat of the original, just copying part 1's homework, and part 1 is so much better anyway. This track comes across as unneeded. Going back to my point that Mobb Deep is running out of things to rap about, Havoc seems pretty obsessed with spelling out his name. You've already spelled out your duo's name for an entire chorus on a song. At this point, it's just boring. The album starts off really promising but dips in quality in the second half. But honestly, overall, while Infinite is of course nowhere near Mobb Deep's best album and was obviously never expected to be, I will say that given how consistently disappointing their catalogue has been since the early 2000s, this is honestly one of their best, if not their best, albums since the end of the 90s. And even though it's not mind-blowing or amazing, Infinite is really all I wanted for them at this point as a final send-off. At least it's not disappointing. 6.1